What if I told you that everything you've ever wanted is already within your reach, but the more you try to grab it, the further it slips away? The relentless pursuit of success, happiness, love, or peace often blinds us to the truth, that we're already in possession of everything we need. Today, I invite you to consider this. Stop trying to get it, and you'll have it. This might sound counterintuitive. It might even sound impossible. But I promise you, the path to true fulfillment lies not in more effort, but in more surrender. Stay with me, because by the end of this speech you'll begin to see that what you've been chasing isn't outside of you. It's simply waiting for you to stop running, and the moment you do, everything changes. We live in a world that tells us to chase after our dreams, to grab what's ours, to get ahead. But here's the paradox: the more you desperately chase, the more elusive your desires become. Whether it's success, love, or even inner peace, the harder you try to grasp it, the further it drifts. It's like trying to hold water in your hands. No matter how tightly you squeeze, it slips away. What if the key isn't in the chasing, but in the releasing? Imagine for a moment, what if letting go of that desperate need to possess is the very thing that brings it into your life? This is where true freedom begins. In a world obsessed with control, it seems counterintuitive to let go. But here's the secret. True power lies in surrender. Not surrender to passivity or inaction, but surrender to the flow of life. The more we try to control, the more we are bound by fear and resistance. The more we let go, the more we open ourselves to the natural rhythms of the universe. When we release our grip, we stop fighting what is. We stop battling against the present moment. And it's in this space of non-resistance that we discover the deepest form of power, the power to be at peace with what is. Think about the things you've been trying to attain. Success, wealth, happiness, these are all concepts we've learned to chase after. But what if I told you that attainment itself is an illusion? Everything you seek is not something you need to achieve or acquire. It's already within you. It's not somewhere in the future. It's right here, right now. When we seek, we assume we lack. But in truth, the very act of seeking keeps us from recognizing that we already possess what we need. Happiness, fulfillment, peace, they are all natural states of being, not distant goals to be reached. You don't need to go somewhere else to find them. They are already here, within you, waiting to be realized. Wanting creates a gap. It creates a space between who you are now and who you think you need to be. And in that gap, you live in the future, always waiting, always striving, always hoping. But the future is an illusion. It never arrives. The more you want, the more you separate yourself from what is. Instead of constantly wanting, consider this: the moment you stop wanting, you start becoming. You stop searching for something outside of you to fill the emptiness. You realize that the only way to truly have what you desire is to stop wanting it so badly. When you stop chasing, you allow everything to come to you naturally. The real secret to fulfillment is not found in the pursuit, but in the presence. When you stop striving, you open up space for joy, clarity, and insight to emerge effortlessly. The very moment you let go of the need to be somewhere else, you arrive. And in this arrival, everything you've been searching for begins to reveal itself. This isn't a passive state of waiting. It's an active embrace of the present moment. It's not about giving up. It's about giving in to what is. When you stop running, you start living. And when you start living, you start receiving. Stop trying to become someone you're not. Stop trying to chase a version of yourself that doesn't exist, because the truth is, you already are enough. You already possess everything you need. Being is the answer. Instead of chasing external achievements or success, look inward. Recognize that you are already a complete being, not defined by what you do or have, but by who you are. When you stop trying to become, you start living fully in the moment. And when you live in the moment, the world unfolds in ways you could never have imagined. So, what would happen if you stopped trying to get it? What if you let go of the need to achieve, acquire, and attain? You might just discover that everything you've been searching for has been within you all along. And in that realization, you'll find the most profound peace, success, and joy you could ever imagine. The secret is simple. Stop trying to get it, and you'll have it. Thank you. The more desperately we chase happiness, success, or enlightenment, the more they seem to slip through our fingers. This is the paradox of pursuit. The harder we try to grasp something, the further it moves away. Think about it. The moment we set our sights on something, we create an expectation of how it should unfold. We begin to pursue it with such intensity that we become fixated on the outcome rather than the journey. We convince ourselves that if we just try harder, work longer, or focus more intensely, the thing we desire will eventually be ours, but more often than not, the opposite happens. The more we chase, the more elusive it becomes. This paradox is woven deeply into our daily lives. We seek success, hoping that when we reach it, we will finally be fulfilled. We chase after happiness, thinking it's a destination that can be attained. But the truth is that the very act of chasing keeps us from recognizing that what we seek isn't something to be attained, it's something to be experienced. Happiness, peace, and fulfillment aren't rewards waiting at the end of a long road, but qualities that emerge naturally when we stop striving. We are always in pursuit of something, thinking that once we have it, we'll be complete. But the truth is, completeness doesn't come from acquisition, it comes from acceptance. When we stop trying so hard to attain, something shifts. We begin to see that the things we desire are not separate from us, but are simply reflections of who we already are. In that moment, the chase ends. The pursuit gives way to presence, and in that presence, everything we need shows up naturally. It's not in the grasping that we find peace, but in the letting go. The moment we release the need to chase is the moment we allow ourselves to receive. What we truly desire was never outside of us, it was always within. When we think about power, we often associate it with control. We believe that to have power, we must be able to control our circumstances, our environment, and even other people. We think that by exerting our will, we can force life to bend to our desires. However, true power is not found in control, it's found in surrender. The moment we stop trying to control everything is when we gain the freedom to live in harmony with life. When we surrender, we aren't giving up, we are giving in to the natural flow of existence. Life has a rhythm, a pace, a way of unfolding that can't be forced or hurried, and the more we try to control it, the more we push against its current. But when we stop resisting, when we stop clinging to our need to steer the course, we align ourselves with that flow. It's in that alignment that we discover a deeper form of strength. This is not the strength of the ego, which is built on force and opposition, but the strength of the spirit, which is grounded in acceptance and trust. Letting go of control doesn't mean becoming passive or inactive. It means recognizing that we don't need to manipulate every situation to ensure a particular outcome. Instead of forcing things to happen, we allow them to unfold naturally. This is where true power lies, not in controlling, but in trusting. It's about letting go of the need for certainty and embracing the unknown, knowing that life will unfold in ways we cannot predict, but which are ultimately for our good. When we surrender, we tap into a power that transcends our limited understanding, a power that flows from a deeper place within us, a place that doesn't require control to be effective. What you're seeking isn't out there to be achieved or acquired, it's already within you. We are constantly conditioned to believe that success, happiness, or peace is something we must strive for, something we need to chase, and something we need to earn. We think of these qualities as external goals, distant destinations that we can only reach through effort and perseverance. But in reality, the very act of seeking them often keeps us from recognizing that they are not separate from who we are. The things we search for are not elusive objects to be attained. They are states of being inherently present within us all. The idea of attainment is built on the belief that there's something we lack, something we must go after to complete ourselves. But this belief is based on an illusion. We spend our lives working to acquire what we already possess, and in the process, we overlook the truth that everything we seek is already part of our being. We already have the potential for peace, for joy, for success. It's not something that exists outside of us, waiting for us to acquire it. These qualities are intrinsic, embedded in our very nature. When we realize this, we begin to understand that there is no need for constant striving, no need to push ourselves toward distant goals. Instead, we start to recognize that we are already whole. It's in stopping the chase, in ceasing the relentless search for something that's out there, that we allow ourselves to experience what we've been seeking all along. True happiness, true success, and true peace are not achievements, but states of awareness. When we cease striving and begin to embrace what is already present within, we uncover the fulfillment that was there all along. The illusion of attainment disappears, and we see that everything we sought was already inside of us, waiting to be realized. Wanting creates a gap between where we are and where we think we need to be. It pulls us into the future, convincing us that fulfillment lies just beyond our reach. The very act of wanting implies that we are incomplete, that something is missing from our lives, and that only by obtaining this elusive thing will we be whole. But this creates a never-ending cycle. When we reach one desire, another one quickly takes its place, and the gap continues to grow. We live in a perpetual state of wanting, always looking outside ourselves for the next source of satisfaction, while missing the richness of the present moment. Wanting keeps us trapped in a future that doesn't exist yet. It separates us from the now, and in doing so, it prevents us from experiencing the fullness of what we already have. We convince ourselves that when we get what we want, everything will be better. But the truth is, the moment we get it, the satisfaction fades, and we find ourselves wanting something else. The future never arrives in the way we expect it to, and the gap between what we have and what we desire only widens. What if we stopped wanting? What if, instead of constantly yearning for something different, we accepted what is in front of us? When we stop wanting, we close the gap between our desires and our current reality. We stop living in the future, and we start living in the present. And in the present, we realize that we already have everything we need. We are not incomplete. We are not lacking. The act of wanting creates a sense of scarcity, but when we stop wanting, we embrace abundance. We begin to see that everything we need is already available to us, not in the form of things, but in the form of awareness, presence, and acceptance. The key to fulfillment isn't in chasing after something more, but in recognizing that what we seek has always been right here, in the moment we stop wanting it. When we stop striving for something, we create space for clarity, joy, and insight to emerge naturally. Too often, we believe that the key to achieving our goals or finding fulfillment lies in relentless effort, constant action, and the act of pushing forward no matter what. We fill every moment with tasks, ambitions, and expectations, thinking that if we just work harder or move faster, we'll arrive at the destination we desire. But in this frantic pursuit, we often miss the very thing we are searching for. The more we try to force things, the more we block the natural flow of life. True fulfillment doesn't come from effort alone. It comes from presence. When we stop striving, we open ourselves to the natural unfolding of life. Instead of trying to manipulate every moment, we allow things to evolve on their own, and in this space of non-striving, we begin to see things clearly. We are no longer clouded by our desires and our constant pushing to get somewhere. Instead, we are fully present in the moment, able to receive the clarity that only emerges when we stop forcing things to happen. It's not about giving up on our goals or desires, it's about shifting our approach. We don't have to chase after what we want. We simply have to stop fighting against what is already here. The more we embrace the present moment, the more we allow life to unfold naturally. This doesn't mean we stop working toward our dreams or aspirations. Instead, it means that we do so without the anxiety, the pressure, and the need to control the outcome. We act from a place of ease and trust, knowing that when we let go of the need to force things, the right opportunities, the right people, and the right circumstances will naturally fall into place. When we stop striving, we begin to receive. We begin to live in harmony with the flow of life, and in that harmony, we discover the deepest form of joy and fulfillment, one that comes not from achieving, but from being. Instead of trying to become something you're not, realize that you already are, and that is enough. In a world that constantly tells us to improve, to grow, to strive for more, it's easy to feel that we are never enough as we are. We're taught that success, happiness, and even our worth are contingent upon becoming something else, someone better, richer, more accomplished, or more enlightened. But in this chase for becoming, we lose sight of the simple truth: we are already complete. There is no need to become anything, because the essence of who we truly are is already perfect, whole, and fully capable of living a life of fulfillment. The trap of constantly trying to become something else comes from a fundamental misunderstanding of who we are. We believe that our identity is defined by what we do, how much we achieve, and how others perceive us. But this is an illusion. Our true self is not defined by external markers of success or approval. It is found in the quiet recognition that we are already enough as we are, without needing to prove anything to anyone. When we stop trying to become, we stop identifying with our desires, our struggles, and our projections of who we think we should be. We simply return to the essence of our being, which is already whole. Being isn't about becoming someone else or achieving some future version of ourselves. It's about recognizing the inherent value and potential in the present moment. When we stop the constant striving to become something other than what we are, we allow ourselves to embrace the fullness of who we truly are. In this space, we experience peace because we no longer feel the pressure to change or improve in ways that feel forced. We can simply be in the most authentic, complete form of ourselves. This is where true freedom lies, not in becoming, but in being. Being who we are right now is the answer to all the questions we've ever asked about ourselves and our place in the world. In conclusion, the more we strive, chase, and force life to unfold in a certain way, the further we move from the very fulfillment we seek. What if the key to all we desire lies not in the pursuit, but in the release? The moment we stop trying to get it, we begin to see that everything we've ever wanted was already within our reach, just waiting for us to stop chasing it. We don't need to become anything more or achieve anything greater. We are already whole, already enough, and already in possession of everything we seek. True fulfillment is not found in what we attain, but in what we allow. When we stop striving to become something else, we open ourselves to the natural flow of life and the inherent joy and peace that come with it. It's in this surrender, this willingness to stop fighting, to stop chasing, that we find the freedom to be ourselves fully and completely. So stop trying to get it. Let go of the need to achieve, to control, and to pursue. In that release, you'll discover that everything you've ever wanted is already here, within you, waiting to be realized. The more you stop trying, the more you'll have, not in the way you expected, but in the way that truly matters.